Welcome to this Crypto Morning, Wednesday, August 21st, 2024. First, importantly, Barack and Michelle Obama invited to mark today 2 of the Democratic Convention. Clearly, dynamically speaking from afar and without being a U.S. political expert, the Democratic Party seems to have great momentum. They were on a disastrous path with Biden, who was really at his wit's end. Now there's a new dynamic. With Barack and Michelle Obama, the Democrats are in, and Kamala Harris will be their candidate. Recently, as you might recall, we've heard love declarations from Trump, explaining he even wants to copy El Salvador, meaning, despite any reservations, accepting Bitcoin as legal tender, buying loads, and so on. It's a case of do as I say, not as I do. It's crucial to step back and reflect whether you like Trump or not. Trump can say what he wants, but he owns 0 Bitcoin. As a candidate, he must declare assets. He has tokens, but mostly from supporters. It's publicity, so they send millions of tokens to Trump. He has meme coins, MAGA stuff, but no Bitcoin. It's important to keep that in mind. Then when you hear him speak and profess his love for cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, so it's crucial to step back and look at oil. Despite all the doomsday predictions we've seen lately, over the past year, oil prices have been consistently falling. Remember when I mentioned the IMF? I think it was late 2023 when they said as prices rose that oil would hit $150 or even $200 per barrel. Since their forecast, it's dropped almost 40%. It's at a yearly low despite global events, especially in the Middle East. Notice the remarkable calm in the oil market, by the way. The CAC 40 is consolidating, but it had a great run. The S&P is down 0.20, the Nasdaq down 0.33. Small profit taking as the Nasdaq had 6 straight up sessions, so naturally a slight pullback. We'll see if it heads towards an all-time high. Also, for peace of mind, check out the fear and greed index in the crypto world. I think the most reliable indicator is the VIX index. You can find it on any site, just search for VIX index or CBOE, but it's the VIX index. It's really rising, it's the fear gauge for financial markets, so it's beyond cryptos, it's about the entire financial world. And indeed, there was a big spike on August 5th. The index, imagine, it shot up to 65. I don't think I've ever seen it hit 65. It happens very, very rarely. It happened here in 2018, 2020, but you can see it peaked. What's amazing is how quickly calm returned. So there was a big surge of fear, but the financial markets right now are exactly like late July, plain and simple. So again, it's just selling fear. They're saying the US government will sell $10 billion. Honestly, those who only have this info to offer, well, I'll say it, but to downplay it, MT Gox, another 700 million. All of this is temporary. These aren't major movements, unlike ETF inflows for pensions, which will last decades. It's just temporary. Of course, it may cause small, brief downturns. But you see, 700 million arriving on exchanges. They trade 15, 20, 25, 35 billion daily. 700 million spread over a week. It's nothing. I think it's a non-issue once again. This is a rumor, but likely more, as Elon Musk tweeted about it. Donald Trump might make Elon Musk a cabinet member, maybe create a ministry just for Elon Musk. But it could be interesting. For Trump, having Musk on his team would be a huge wild card. This is also similar. It's the real information I'm going to share with you. It's State Street, a huge fund in the US that's setting up platforms to facilitate crypto investment for any institutional investor. Obviously, this isn't for individuals. It's aimed at pension funds and major international banks, including European ones, of course, to offer them tools to invest, particularly in Bitcoin and Ethereum at the moment. The idea is to have a platform ready for the future, which will obviously arrive in a few years. And I think especially for banks, the first ones to quickly enter the crypto sector, instead of resisting like in France and Europe's trying to slow things down, calling it money laundering and such. But those who jump in and quickly enter the crypto sector, I think for the banking industry, it could be a huge growth opportunity because it's a new world of financial products to offer their clients. We're seeing American banks really taking the plunge. We're waiting for Crédit Agricole, BNP, Société Générale, our French banks to react by 2032. So that's also a key indicator that's super important, which is consistent. It's happening on Tron again. We'll talk about Tron. Tether has minted another billion USDT. They mint USDT when there's high demand. They have to mint, creating new tokens. I've been telling you this, and it's my current strategy with small investments and such. I'm buying USDT now to prepare, hopefully for September or October. We'll see, having a few grand to invest. That's what's happening right now. People await chances, but lots of USDT on exchanges, ready to use. It's super positive. Again, I wanted to talk about Justin Sun. He's crushing it today. Let's check out TRX and his other tokens. He's dominating. And I'm glad Aztecs is taking another hit. A New York judge dealt another blow to Tron as they're under attack too. About Justin Sun, I personally like him, regardless of what others think, because he takes excellent care of my investment. I've been in Tron for 5 years now, and I think it might be my best crypto investment. Let's check it out. It's hitting an all-time high. For instance, I love Gavin Wood and Paul Cadot, but I especially admire Gavin Wood as a person. Right now, he's not managing my personal finances very well. Meanwhile, Justin Sun's making me a happy investor, so to speak. I've been talking about this for years. I know very few people discuss this project, but that pleases me since I've been talking about it since this channel started. Even if the project is criticized, I don't mind talking about projects like XRP and others, especially when, as investors, don't listen to noise. Look at your token's performance over 5-6 years. You'll see TRX is amazing. Now, 2 interesting indicators. The first is exactly like in 2020, just like in 2020. With the halving, the economic equation gets tricky. Miners' business is halved, so they have no choice. They're forced to sell Bitcoin for liquidity. They've been doing this for weeks, but now it's stabilizing. Is this a plateau, or will it go lower? I don't know. I think it's a plateau. It's typical. We're in that window, 3 to 4 months post-halving, when things start to stabilize. The biggest whales, remember, there's MicroStrategy and all, but really the biggest whales in our sector are the miners. Webull lets you start investing in stocks with just $5. The second indicator I really like, which we've discussed before, the supply of stablecoins is exploding, and that's automatic, meaning you can easily understand it. When you buy USDT on an exchange, it's usually because you plan to spend it. So it's a super reliable indicator, the second ultra bullish sign I'm sharing today. Market-wise, look at BitTorrent, TRX, and HTX. It's crazy. BitToken merged with Tron to create HTX. It's simply exploding, and we'll look at Tron because it's making an all-time high. It's going crazy, entering the top 10. Let's talk about AAV. I'm not invested, but it's truly impressive what it's doing. It's making annual gains. What I like is we're seeing attempts at breakouts. I've seen Polygon Matic, Atom Cosmos recovering yesterday. Matic today, AVAX and Airwave, a great Filecoin competitor in storage that I like. After the 50-day moving average, which we've discussed for months, it breaks through the 200-day average here. It's gaining momentum and often leads the trend. This doesn't mean we'll skyrocket tomorrow, but it's very positive for the coming months. Looking at the weekly chart, it's not pretty. We see 3 indecision candles. The week's just started, but we've had 2 indecision candles already. What does this mean? It means we're in for some volatility in the coming weeks. Hopefully upwards, but it could be a sharp drop too, kicking off the roller coaster. It might happen in 2 phases, which could be the scenario we see. For some reason, maybe one last dip before we take off. It didn't last long. 4th bullish signal, let's zoom in. It's the perfect alignment. There's no bull market on Bitcoin or any asset that really takes off without the alignment of moving averages. We're looking at weekly charts, 50-day, 100-day, and 200-day moving averages. We weren't there yet. We weren't there. We haven't been there since 2020, plain and simple. Here, again, we had that famous 50, 100, 200 alignment. Without this alignment, there's a kind of instability. And now, simply put, we'll see it happen in the coming weeks. It's almost done, and nothing could stop it, even if it drops to 42,000. We'll see a really nice pattern in September with the moving averages. So, daily, I mean short term, even though mid-term, I'm ultra bullish anyway. What I noticed daily, and it's very clean, look at the 50-day moving average. It exploded here, bounced back, but hit a wall. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th attempt. There are 2 schools of thought. Some say constant pressure will make it explode. If it does, we'll break through all 3 daily MAs. Others say it's becoming reinforced resistance pushing us down. That's why I think we might face one last dip soon. I don't like what's happening with the 50-day MA. You can see this clean resistance line quite clearly. Then there's TAX, which is really exciting. A project more criticized than XRP, if you can believe it. When I talked about it, I got slammed, especially with only 500 subs when I dared mention investing in it. I know some team members bought a lot when I discussed it in 2022 to 2023. It's the best investment right now. It's exceptional because we're not even seeing the staking gains here. For me, during this phase, it was 15 to 20%. Now, I think we're at 8 or 9%. It's really, really impressive. Weekly, it hit higher but also dropped lower. We'll see the weekly close, but we hit an ATH at 17 cents. Could this token reach $1? Honestly, why not? That'd be insane because I've held it for so long. I've accumulated at different levels, and it's going incredibly well. It's simply my best investment, a small tribute nonetheless. Then cash in some hot files that exploded yesterday. I shared it on Twitter, which is good. It was below all moving averages, 50, 100, and 200. Now it's broken the 50, and as usual, the fight's between 50 and 100. Will it level up from League 3 to 2 before reaching League 1? It's up to it to break the resistance. Next up, AVE. I've been asked a lot about AVE. True, I don't mention it much. Why? I like the AVE project. It's in DeFi. It's a project I've invested in. It did very well in 2020. But this year, there's all the RWA stuff. Though for me, RWA is part of DeFi. It's still decentralized finance. I'm more into projects like Injective and other new ones. For classic DeFi projects like Uniswap, Chainlink, and Compound, I'm not too involved. I used to be all over those projects. Not so much now. It's great to see this kind of project gaining momentum. Often these projects get buried. I don't think they're buried, though. I don't have any inside info, but it's nearly hitting a yearly high AVE. Next, I wanted to talk about XMR. Recently, HNT was delisted from Binance. Remember? Look at February's Binance delisting. Since then, it's up 60%. So investing in Binance delisted tokens can pay off. Monero for me is the ultimate token. I have some in my portfolio. I think I'll never sell them. I don't have many. Just a few coins. I think I have about 20 coins, but I won't sell because I like the position. It's like having some liquid cash in. It's like liquid cash for our sector. It's a major project that'll keep going. In 10 years, we often say Bitcoin will be there. I think Monero will be too. So that's all from me. Have a great day. See you soon. Ciao, everyone.